What is up? What is up? We are back this week in White Supremacy. If this is your first time or you are a seasoned veteran of our show, welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. My name is Jasiri X. I am co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And to my immediate right,
it's a miracle.
The glue.
The glue
That holds our audience together. The only reason.
You know, your girl. Live from the squalor. It's me.
Live from the squalor.
It's Miracle.
Wow.
Live from the
Big
squalor is
blessing.
crazy.
What's the big blessing?
The big bless and the big blessings are showing their might. The Miracle Gang or Miracle Hive is showing their might, and we'll get to that a little bit later in our new segment.
I'm about to get somebody's social security check.
Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Long game.
And
long game.
Returning to us.
Yes.
Woo.
It's your boy, Treble NLS. Niggas look survived. Allegedly, niggas love squalor.
Yes. Yes. Well, we're glad you're back. You know what I'm saying? It's never the same. Now we're at our complete, team. The team is in effect. And sir.
It's me. Someone's anger, irritatingly demure.
Wow.
I don't like that one. No. Do over. Someone's anger.
Yes.
Irritatingly demure.
Yes.
You know what demure means?
Oh, he acted like you.
I'm just asking.
He said you might need Webster over there.
No,
Oh my God.
I was just asking a question.
He said, are you dumb?
No, I said, do you know what demure means?
Yes, I know what it means, but
Okay.
it doesn't make sense because it doesn't, you know what?
Yeah, it makes
You know
perfect
what?
sense.
No.
I'm someone's anger because I'm irritatingly demure.
You're demure? You were not. You were obnoxious.
Demure is coy. Yeah, obnoxious.
Squalor and in danger, maybe?
Squalor.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, man.
Oh, you don't know squalor?
I don't know what that means.
Squalor
I'm not
always
here for
is
this
divine.
intellectual, rigorous debate.
Well, Miracle, it's that guy in the glasses. You know what I'm saying? That man in the sunglasses.
I hate
stupid.
being on the outside of an inside joke.
I'm just too stupid to get it.
wow.
I don't understand.
Wow. Uh-oh.
I'm not cultured. Just here. If only if I was cultured.
If only. It's not your
only
fault
I
you're from the South.
understood. If only. If only. You
Miracle,
know what?
Miracle.
Because I'm gonna go hard this whole entire show.
Miracle.
And I don't want to be called a light skin bully no more because you see how that evil little Sasquatch over there started with
wow.
me.
Oh, wow.
Started with me.
Jeez, man.
Because I was trying to give him another
Sasquatch,
chance to go
Asiatic.
around.
But this is Miracle, this is the
Can
difficulty.
you explain to me like I'm 5?
When you're in squalor, you don't have access to dictionaries, Miracle. Like when you live in squalor, there's no books in squalor. You know what I'm saying? We burn those for the heat. You know what I'm saying? Like because we're in squalor.
It reminds me of that part in the was it the Shawshank Redemption?
Yes.
He's like, I'm gonna burn your library. And we're gonna dance around it like wild engines.
Because we're talking, we might as well start with the squalor because we're talking about it. For those that don't know, so it's election season, and there was a debate. There's a primary for our congressional district, PA-12. So our current, congressperson is Summer Lee, who made history being the first black woman, congresswoman in the history of Pennsylvania. She's running against 2 other women, and there was a debate recently, and one of the women she was running against, and what's this woman's name?
Laurie MacDonald.
Laurie MacDonald had something very interesting to say about PA District 12.
Who she's running to represent.
Yes, who she's supposed to be representing.
Yeah.
I always say, I talk the talk and I walk the walk. But, my opponent, the people who live in her district have no families. They live in squalor. They don't have...
Summer's face says it all. As she just sips the water.
Right? Well, guess what? I work there. I have helped those families. I do too.
No families. Like no, just so like I guess like how did they?
Listen to that. That's not fair. I work there. I help those families.
I mean, so that's pretty.
I work amongst the squalor.
Yes,
I can say that.
Yes, I work there.
Dressed like she just found out Kohl's existed.
Yes, she definitely doesn't live there because she has a family and apparently a home. and anybody that lives in PA District 12, like all of us, I believe, right?
Yes.
We have no families. That's fascinating. Like, and we live in squalor. So,
talk to your friend who don't have a family over there.
I mean, I don't.
you don't have a family. she was right about you.
I don't know if that's by choice or by, but like, it's just me.
But it is kind of like, it's like,
It's so sad.
What were you sad and depressed? What were you sad and intermittently? Yes.
Because I live in squalor. I live in squalor
alone in the dirt, right? alone.
I live in squalor alone in my depression.
That is crazy. But again, it's like that casual racism.
Yeah.
Where like she's thinking she's like trying to make some point. And doesn't, I don't know if she does, like realize
She's like the one-eyed person in the land of the blind.
Yeah, but it's like you do realize like to stereotype everybody. Now, even if she meant, Summer is from an area, Braddock, like outside of the city, that has some economic struggles in this area, right? But to act like everybody that lives in a particular place. And then, of course, oftentimes, what are you talking about? A predominantly black area, and that everybody in this predominantly black area, we're there, not because of systemic racism. It's not because of any of these like historical barriers that we talk about and show on this show every week, right? It's because like we just love poverty. We hate families. We hate families. We love poverty, you know what I'm saying? And like, but to classify everybody?
I mean, niggas love squalor.
I mean, you telling me you work there and you've never seen one family? Not one. There was not like one family.
It's not like there's a place there called the Healthy Village Learning Institute. like that doesn't exist.
I mean, obviously that's not on her work drive into the squalor, right?
What does she drive? Like magical cockroach chariots? What does she envision herself going to work doing? Like with her white savior complex and all of her privilege.
Correct. And it's like, what if this is what this district is? Why do you want to represent it? Are you going to pull us out of the squalor? Like you said, you're putting your white cape on and flying into the squalor to help save us all. Miracle, you were there. You were physically at the debate. You were in the room when the squalor comment was made. Wildness, yes.
And
did you bring fresh produce to throw?
I did not bring. First of all,
you bring rotten produce to throw.
The whole forum was a lot of stuff happening in the forum. It was just it was like too much. But the problem is this woman is the head of the Center for Victims. And if you remember a few years ago, a lot of black families had to go to Harrisburg because the victim's advocate was refusing to acknowledge that dual victims existed. And so a lot of black families who are living in the squalor, it is because of the decisions made by Laurie and her organization that actually refused to help people who were impacted because they said they weren't good enough victims. They weren't innocent enough victims. Wow. And so when she's talking about people not having families, it's because she helped break them up. Because she helped destroy them. And that is a huge problem with a lot of these politicians, is that they run for office and they put in policies that essentially uplift death and destruction and dismantling of our communities, and then want to point and laugh at us because we're dealing with the effects of their disinvestment. And for me, the forum, I really wish we could get to a point where we can talk about policies and their impact on people's lives.
Yes.
Because a lot of people do not know what it is like to struggle, do not know what it's like to succeed, and do not understand the realities of which we're living in right now.
Right.
The majority, 50% of Americans can't even afford rent. Right, because of policies our elected officials have put in place. And so when we're talking about living in squalor, what policies are you putting forth to invest in people's communities, to strengthen people's communities, knowing good and well like a nuclear bomb can take us out, any day and time now, because again of policies. And so for me, being in the audience, to hear people say, we live here, you work here, right?
Right.
We live here, we're in these communities, and we're yelling and fighting, and we're here because we love our community. Right. That was the best part, because like usually we're not in the room, we're not at those tables when people disparage us and talk about, those poor, unfortunate souls and stuff. And here we're like, oh no, you're not about to disrespect us to our face. Those days of politics are over. Absolutely. And that was what I was loving to see.
Yes. You wasn't, and shout out to those obvious people that had families that were like, "What? We're right in front of you." Like, and it is wild to talk about like you work there, but like you're so disconnected from the actual people that live there, what they're going through, and what actually can help. But you had mentioned it, a report that came out this past week that said, homelessness was at an all-time high, right? That people experiencing homelessness was up 12% from the previous record. So again, like this is a result of policies. This is a result of, people like landlords being unchecked and being able to raise rent. Remember, there were protections during COVID that protected people so they couldn't get evicted in this time. As soon as those protections left, rent goes sky high. Folks are struggling to make ends meet. And instead of saying like, here's as somebody that works and people who are maybe economically disadvantaged, here are my policies that can help improve that. You like almost clown people or mock people. You know what I'm saying? It's having no families and living in squalor in such a nonchalant way, as if those people living there like somehow deserve what they're going through. Treble, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just think it's wild that she's asking for support from people and then standing in their faces and telling them they have no families and they live in squalor. Like that was going to
vote for me.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was going to inspire us to be like, you know what? You're right. That's crazy. You can help us. She just went up there and was like, you niggas look sad. And was like,
and then it's like, well, what work are you doing? If you work there and we still don't got families and we still living in squalor, like what work are you doing?
Facts.
How have you been helping? You know what I'm saying? Like obviously you haven't been, seeing any family. Farouk, you had a comment on the squalor?
She kind of sounded like Pat Robinson from the 500 Club. Like, the 700 Club, I mean.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
is he still alive?
I hope not. I mean, I think he's expired. I think he's been expired. he's been. I think he's been removed from the census for a while now.
He's living in the squalor called hell.
No, I mean, but she really came in on like that Genghis Khan quote, because you have sinned, that's why God sent me here to save you, and shit like that. You know what I mean? She was like, come suckle at the teat of squalor with me. She just sounds so awful and wild. Like, did she go over that with her people? Or was she just really like going off the cuff and thinking this is going to land well?
Cuff. So right. Like the beauty of forms, and we have our own through One Hood Power, is you don't send the candidates questions, right?
Right.
So they're having to make this stuff up as they go, and it was just, I don't believe she was as prepared as she needed to be. Yeah. It was not the finest moment.
Yeah. Where is she from? Like, what area is she from? Do you know?
She said she was from
the families. She's from Good Families.
I think she's
Good Families, PA.
Good Families, PA.
She's probably from
Squalor Free is the way to be.
She said she was from the Mon. I think she was a graduate of CMU. So again, I don't think it was the best representative that day.
It almost seemed
she
like
didn't bring her best and brightest self.
Oh well, she was trying to almost like dunk on Summer. And kind of, and in it ended up disrespecting everybody that
she's trying to get a vote from.
Right. You're at a forum to show like you're the best candidate, and you left with people saying even how are you inspiring us? How are you helping us? What is your plan? Mm-hmm. And she basically, but it's funny, right? It kind of goes into that Trumpian type of politics that we see nowadays, which is, overt or covert, subtle or open. This wasn't even subtle. It's like open racism and an attempt to maybe get folks to vote for her she probably thinks like Summer got the black vote wrapped up. I'm gonna just go for the the outright racist and
she made the white people in PA-12 very upset, right? Because you think people forget PA-12 was one of the most diverse areas of Pennsylvania. Yeah. And you also told these white people that they have no families, they're living in squalor, and they have no friends. When the whole MO of like Pittsburgh is like the Yinzer brand, where it's nothing about like, it's always family and friends and community. So you have really just crapped on the work that people have done in PA-12, and they were not happy.
Right, but she's attempting to basically do that to this black woman, right? It's kind of like, oh, this black person is running it, therefore,
right,
like we're in squad. And it's like I said, it's very, very Trumpian, very, openly racist. And, Trump's had a time, I guess, this past week, right? He's had a time. Here are the stats. Okay. I'm going to read the Trump. I don't know if you have any sound effects to go with these stats, all right? And this is from our brother Keith Boykin on Twitter. Trump now has 91 felony counts, 11 aides convicted, 4 indictments, 2 impeachments, an $83.3 million defamation verdict, a $25 million fraud judgment, a $5 million sexual assault verdict, a $1.6 million tax fraud conviction, a university shutdown, a charity shutdown, and is on trial for fraud.
Fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, fuck Donald Trump.
This is your king, right? And it's just like Trump, who like
all those sound effects sounded like World War III was starting.
Almost, right? Lord have mercy. So here's Trump now. You know what I'm saying? That, if he could just, and the irony of Trump having like naming his social media truth. I'm gonna call it truth and lie every day.
I'm gonna do it.
And this is his brain, right? As people are saying, like, look, like, just shut up, right? He had a $5 million judgment in this defamation case. Mm-hmm. And if he had just be quiet, shut up, walk away, that's just $5 million. But he could not stop. He could not stop on Truth Social. He could not stop defaming this woman. And so she filed another judgment. Yeah. And according to how this thing works, and maybe you can also walk us through this legal stuff, Miracle, when you appeal, you have to put up the money, right? And so to appeal the first $5 million judgment that E. Jean Carroll won against him, he had to put up $5 million.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now it's at $83 million. So to appeal this verdict,
he got put up 83.
He has to put up $83 million.
Plus the 5 or
plus the 5.
$88 million.
Yes. Damn. And then
that's almost $1 million for every felony he got.
And he's not going to win. No. And so then what's the next judgment going to be?
Maybe 170 million?
I'm coming to you, Miracle. Do you think that this will finally get this man?
Oh, God, no. No. This is
because his followers are going to pay for it, right?
They'll probably fundraise. They probably already raised that money now. Talk about living in squalor. They will give out every dime they have
to this day
to go. I get this money for this man to run for president.
That is wild.
To
live in squalor, to give a quote unquote billionaire
money. There's the lady, the mom from Pennsylvania, right? The who went to jail because she was over here directing people. Did you see her house?
Oh yes.
No. It looked like a mansion.
Really?
Yes. Her house was humongous.
And this is the woman who
she's like from the middle of the state, right?
And she was called the Pink Hat Lady, and this was the woman who participated in January 6th.
Like
the bullhorn lady.
Kids.
Yes, she told everybody to go into the thing.
And was helping them breach and everything.
Yes.
Like when they did like this little interview before she went to jail because
Yes.
she's on a state sponsored vacation right now, and they were just like talking about doing this like before jail piece, and they did like this look into her home. I thought like I was on the set of Hallmark, and give up thousands upon thousands of dollars to help this man. It is I've never, but kudos to them for having something that they love and are passionate about because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But no,
very
this
cultish.
is not. It's very, very, very cultish. But I guess it's passionate. I don't know. It's not my vibe. But this is not going to make him drop out.
Right.
He needs a conviction.
Yes.
He needs to be put in the slammer. He has all of these rules like don't talk about this person, don't talk about, and he's just on his socials doing whatever. He needs they need a conviction. Any old conviction will do. He just needs a conviction, and then he can't run.
Does this make it easier for folks to get a conviction because now he has to give up, or even if he challenges this, $90 million. We're talking about $90 million.
I think that it does mess with his coffers a little bit and creates a situation where more people have to finance his campaign than before.
Yes.
And the Supreme gang, the Supreme
team?
The Supreme team, right?
Yeah.
Remember how when they kept winning and the United States government couldn't prosecute them, they started to go around like all of their friends and their businesses so that they couldn't pay for lawyers.
Yes.
I think this is what's going to happen to Trump is he's going to keep losing because, again, he won't be quiet.
Yes, no, he won't.
And so they're going to start taking money, and then it's going to be like, are you going to use your own money? Are you going to start commingling some finances, creating other situations? Especially, now that we're getting close, and if that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, just like on a finance level, like he has to be a high risk investment. So you really have to like
the nigga got 5 bankruptcies.
it's just like
he been a high risk
as an
investment.
investor. It's like you got to entice me to support to you.
Well,
you know
this
what I
is
mean?
the enticement, bro.
Right. What is it?
He's probably going to be the next president of the fucking United States. I mean, think about it. This man who has all those stats is like the front runner. How, it's almost like if I didn't live here.
What bizarro world did we wake up in, man?
But it's perfect. He's perfect for America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because America is it's this facade, it's this illusion, right? It's this, we're all of this good and positive and everybody's equal. But
don't
when
red
you
and
live
white
here,
make orange.
Oh, wow.
When you live here.
But what about the blue?
Hey.
It makes pink.
But look,
okay.
but look, not to go full Laurie on you.
Who's Laurie?
This whole shit is a squad.
America.
There are no families here.
America is the shithole city that Donald Trump has been describing.
There are no families in America.
No
This whole
families.
thing is.
Just look at the Trump family. He's ready to throw his children in jail.
Oh yes,
Yes.
But so this is the award.
He's talking about having sex with his daughters.
But again, the front runner, it's not right now. It's not even close. It's like almost. So the award included $11 million for damages to Carroll's reputation, $7.3 million for emotional harm and other damages, and $65 million in punitive damages. This was Trump's response. Absolutely ridiculous. Adding, they have taken away all First Amendment rights. This is not America.
What do you mean I can't defame this woman? What do you mean I can't drag her name through the mud after a court order said I couldn't?
Right. But that's how he thinks, right? He literally is like, I should be able to just say and disparage anybody and say whatever I want and have immunity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what he thinks. You know what I'm saying? And so
shit is crazy.
Right. Well, it says Trump, she said, thinks the rules don't apply to him. Yes. You have any comment on this, Trouble?
I think this shit is wild. This shit is nuts. I feel like I keep saying this, but I really don't think he should be able to run for president right now. He has much bigger fish to fry than running a country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, if you, think about it. We want a man who simply just can't shut up to have his finger on the nuclear button. I mean, it's about to be a wrap. I mean, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what if one of these world leaders says something about him?
You know, there's a book that talks about this.
What's that?
It says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his rider's name was Death.
His rider's name was Trump. But Trump has a plan.
I'm sure he does. He probably has a lot of plans.
He has a plan.
Or, I mean, were any of those plans that he flushed down the toilet? That he just threw in a swimming pool?
He has a plan for all of us. You know, Miracle talks about black people being the main character.
Yeah.
And Trump's plan to get black voters. Does he think? I mean, I guess do we like gums like that?
Stop it! Stop it right now!
He called on the gums. Gum Scott.
Oh, no, he called on the jaws of life.
Listen,
The jaws of life.
this man, if they win, this man probably has number one.
Tim Scott.
Oh, man.
Number one.
Tim Scott is poised to play a key role in former President Trump's campaign to boost support among black voters. It's so wild because, you know, Tim Scott, again, like, but this is what Trump wants, right? He wants black people to be subservient to him.
Yeah.
And we saw this moment between Trump and Tim Scott.
Can you take a bite out of the black vote for me, Tim?
That's funny. That's funny.
Wow. So Tim Scott, like all of these
Tim
people,
Scott looks like he could blow bubbles with beef jerky.
Tim Scott, like all of the people that ran against Trump, right, have, you know, had to bend both knees to show their Trump loyalty, right? And so there was
a family show.
No, but look, play the.
There's no families in Squalor.
Yeah, there's no families in Squalor. Miracle. Where?
We have no families, Miracle. I have no family, Miracle.
Damn, bro, this is getting personal.
That is crazy. Can you play?
We have no family, no friends. We are in Squalor.
We're bad.
We're in Squalor. Trouble. Niggas love Squalor.
Niggas live in squalor.
Can you play the clip where Trump is publicly humiliating Tim Scott and Tim Scott's?
Oh, I didn't even know Vivek was there.
Yes, all of them are there. Bro.
Oh man,
all of them.
He got the wonder. He just all his undesirables.
Yes,
right there.
yes.
He has the United Nations of disappointments on stage.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Think that she actually appointed you, Tim?
He's talking about Nikki Haley.
And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame.
I just love you.
No, that's good. That's why he's a great politician.
I just love you, boss. I just love you, Massa. Massa, I love you so much. Whoopi Goldberg said, I thought if you get any more up this man's backside, all we're going to see is Tim Scott's feet.
No, all you're going to see is gums. Just gums and orange ass cheeks.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not.
I think we have a title for the show.
Please stop.
Gums and orange ass. Gums and orange ass cheeks.
You know what? I'm gonna take us back. I'm gonna bring us back, right?
Bring us back, Miracle.
Because we talked about, and I may have posted about this the other day when we're talking about white supremacy. White supremacy is coming for all of us.
Yes.
And right now, people are trying to pick and choose. Are they going to fight white supremacy? Are they going to aid and abet white supremacy in the hopes that it protects them and their families and their loved ones?
Yes.
And we're seeing people in real time make real choices.
Even if their families are fake.
Between these
their
two
loved ones.
options.
You got to prove that you have
Our
family.
loved ones are
Between
photo
these two
ops.
options.
Yes, go ahead.
And so people like Tim Scott are trying to, and Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy are trying to wrap themselves up in white supremacy because they believe it's going to protect them from being othered and the other, while you have other folks who are out here doing everything they can to fight back against white supremacy, to fight back against death and destruction, to fight for life-affirming, positive policies.
To fight against gingivitis,
that allow us to have another day, another second, another moment at life to build the liberation that we so need, love, and deserve. And that is what we're seeing right now in real time.
You know how 4 out of 5 dentists agree that this toothpaste will work? The 5th one doesn't agree because of Tim Scott.
Damn.
So, Miracle, the question is, right? And, please forgive me for interrupting you. You are the only reason, we have the viewership that we have.
I believe that. I 1000% believe that.
Is Tim Scott... we're watching him, right? Like we watch Vivek, like we watch, Ron DeSantis. Literally, it's not that it's like Trump doesn't just want an endorsement, right? Trump wants,
loyalty.
You to be,
okay,
the way submission, right? Like, Trump, wants to, sit on your back as you carry him around. I mean, he just wants absolute submission, right? And so... When we watch this,
I'm not even touching that. I'm not. It's there, but I'm not going to do it.
We're not doing it.
Can Tim Scott now turn around and convince black people?
No. Tim Scott is not someone who can convince any voter to do anything outside of South Carolina, because did you see his poll numbers?
Yeah.
They were bad.
They were not good.
How did he convince that woman to say yes?
$5 million in an escrow account offshore.
And all the Trident gum you could chew.
The idea is you need to have a partner in order to run for...
to be the vice president. Yes, to be the vice president.
There's also going to be an issue because she's not an American citizen. So again, we're
where's she
about
from?
your place.
Oh, she's Canadian?
yeah.
So she does exist.
That Canadian girlfriend that turned out to be real. My girlfriend's in Canada.
Wait, she exists because she's Canadian?
You know the joke, my girlfriend's in Canada.
Remember, who was the nigga in the draft that had the fake girlfriend?
Oh, the guy from Hawaii?
Yeah. What was his name?
Manti Te'o.
Like her. His girlfriend. I thought it was I
thought he was. I was trying to say he was making a regional joke.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Because
yes,
I don't understand because I don't know what these words mean.
Clearly, I didn't understand either.
Because I'm ignorant. I'm not intellectual. Ooh. But be that as it may. You know what? Keep laughing.
It's the squalor miracle. Come on.
Keep laughing.
We all live in squalor miracle.
Yes, we're all of us.
Don't try to bond with me now.
Hey, this is trauma bonding.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
We're trying to make different choices so that we don't have the same experience.
You have to bond in squalor so you can stay warm.
Burn books.
Man.
So miracle. So Tim Scott is not the one. Now this also happened, and I obviously want to bring our hip hop artists into the mix. We also saw Snoop, come out and declare love and respect for Donald Trump.
Who had that on the bingo card in 2024?
Right, and Snoop, who
because he was he was critical of Trump.
Wasn't Snoop at the roast of Trump?
I'm not sure.
Was he really?
Wasn't he? I think
he was.
Wasn't he? They're friends.
Well, it said that Trump pardoned Death Row co-founder Michael Harry O'Harris, he said he pardoned Michael Harris, so I have nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Trump also pardoned, friends of other hip hop artists. He pardoned Kodak Black. He pardoned Lil Wayne. Meek Mill apparently came out and expressed some type of support for Donald Trump as well. Is this going to encourage more black people?
Benny the Butcher did.
Benny the Butcher said Trump is going to win again. Yes.
I'm not calling y'all black men the weakest link, but is this the idea that Trump can be the cause and the cure for your pain? That really does bother me. He spent so much of his early days lobbying for these bills that put black men in jail.
Yes.
Lobbying for police that put black men in jail.
Yeah.
Saying that black men were the cause of crime before he was even a candidate. Yeah. And then was like, you know what? I think y'all served enough time. I'm going to let y'all out because I want y'all to kiss the ring.
Yes.
And here y'all are just fawning at his feet. This idea that I want people to understand is we wouldn't need a Biden or a Trump to engage the pardon process if our black men were not in prison in the first place. Yeah. And if we didn't have crack put into our communities in the first place. And I believe we need to be moving on to our reparational rights, which is the fact that we need everyone who's been impacted by the drug crisis out of our prisons and jails. And we need more policies and investments within our communities so that people are not forced into enslavement through prisons or forced servitude through military in order to have a normal life here in America.
Well, you know, Tim Scott said that, you know what was worse than slavery? Welfare.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So I don't know. Maybe, you know, maybe you're right.
Yeah. What do you think, Trouble? I mean, you're... Here's Meek Mill.
No, hold on. First of all, you keep coming for me, and I don't like this. And I told you,
you're the one who
I told you not to do this no more.
Tim Scott.
I told you. Hold on. I told you not to do this no more. But since we're going to come back to like 2020 miracle, let's point out that welfare is not like slavery. Let's point out that social investments are used across the line, and we need those so that people are able to navigate the economy in this time. And so
I agree with you.
No, don't be trying to.
How? Because you were the one campaigning for Tim Scott.
Why are you over here stuttering? Let me talk.
Go ahead and talk, but I'm telling you that your boo that you lobbied for was Tim Scott.
Point your finger somewhere else.
She didn't lobby for him.
She was supporting Tim Scott.
Co-signing for him.
She said he was the best.
This is why I don't like y'all
worst
like
campaign advice,
because y'all try to start winding people up and gaslighting people, and then you want to sit over there and smile. This is what I'm tired. I'm tired of y'all.
What light skinned man hurt you in high school that all this pain has lingered for the next 20 years?
But Miracle, you
see why y'all are friends.
No, Miracle,
stop.
Don't put me in that. No, you make a great point.
But that's all I was trying to say.
Yes.
But I know Treble was going to speak, but I'm not going to let that light skinned demon keep messing with me.
Wow.
This whole entire show.
You make a great point, and also
Lucifer.
The people who are on welfare the most statistically by far are white people. I mean, that's
absolutely.
But you put a black face like Tim Scott, and it looks a certain way. So
black face and pink gums.
Meek and Snoop's endorsement, and even though Kodak Black's in jail, he said he was going to endorse Donald Trump. More than likely, Lil Wayne is going to endorse Donald Trump. Who knows what Kanye is going to do, but he's probably going to. So, is this going to affect, young black people coming out and voting for Trump, Trouble? Do you think?
I hope not. I hope that people realize that rappers are just rappers. They're not politicians.
Absolutely.
They're not, the experts on who to vote for.
Correct.
And I just want people to think for themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you see what your favorite rapper is doing, but what do you want to do? How does it impact your life? You know what I'm saying? What are the real life consequences that certain decisions have on you, your community, your family, if you have one? And
niggas lack support.
You know what I'm saying? Because after reading this article, it's interesting to hear Snoop Dogg's support of Donald Trump all of a sudden after saying, he said, the people that voted for him got exactly what they wanted. They gave them what he said he was going to do. So the next motherfucker better tell us what they going to do to get our vote. He also said, he essentially said, if you vote for Donald Trump, you're a racist. If you support Donald Trump, you're a racist.
Yeah.
He even came at Kanye for his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Just to come out and say this shit.
But that was before, Trump. And remember, Trump pardoned a lot of black people, a lot of well-known and well-connected black people. Mm-hmm. And so, again, he used that pardon. So now, he pardons one of Snoop's friends who helped, if it wasn't for Death Row, we wouldn't know Snoop now.
Why is it that so many people can't see that as a political move?
Well, again,
like an act of grace.
It is a political, and it's you could argue it's an intelligent political move.
No, it absolutely is. But I mean, people are acting like this is some magnanimous gesture.
Oh no,
that's like Trump did from the kindness of his heart to these black people are in pain. Let me start to end the suffrage.
And it goes back to Miracle's point, right? I mean,
hold on. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What if Trump was like, and you know what? If I get in office, reparations.
Again, I wouldn't believe that.
I wouldn't either, but
But I don't
Miracle,
think he
is that
could.
something he could say?
He could not, because
Would he say it?
his base is too racist. So he could not say that. His base is too racist.
I mean, he said Hezbollah was smart. I mean, he's already started to make these comments to kind of pull in these outliers who would probably vote Republican.
I think he said that because he had a beef with Netanyahu, right?
Right, of course.
He doesn't like Netanyahu. I don't know what falling out that they had. So to me, he can't say that. But again, because like the pardoned, like, you know, like he pardoned these rappers, like these racist white people don't care about that. But if he says like, I'll have a reparations policy, but you know, I think more likely will be like, is Ice Cube going to come back with some plan for Black America or something like that? Because just think about this. If you see Trump saying, hey, I have this platform from Black America, and you look up and you see Trump with Lil Wayne, with Snoop, with Kodak, you know what I'm saying? With Van Jones, right? If you see that, like the average, like, you know, maybe young Black voter might be like, yo, he's for us. You know what I'm saying? Look at our stars, right? Our celebrities, they're with him. And who's Biden? Like, Biden literally is running with like the most unpopular Black person, like in America, like right now. Like, there's like no Black person more unpopular, which is kind of crazy to me, than Kamala Harris. Right? So it's like, who's going to be standing with Biden?
Kamala or Kanye? Who's more unpopular?
Definitely Kamala.
That's crazy.
Definitely. And so again, like where do we go? And then here now is Nancy Pelosi coming out, right? Because there has been this, you know, and again, a very, you know, multiracial, multi-ethnic, like, you know, multi-generational uprising and call for like peace in the world. Like, a little too much to ask. Hey, look, like, how about today? Maybe no bloodshed today. You know what I'm saying?
No bombs, no mosques being blown up, no children being murdered.
No universities being blown up. Like maybe just today, right? And so this, you know, call, this world, and particularly when it comes to like Democratic polling, right? You're talking about like 60 to 65% of the Democratic Party in polling are saying like, we want a ceasefire, right? We don't, and why do people are saying we don't want to see any more innocent civilians killed, right? We want to see like babies and children and people who don't have access to food and water get the aid that they're seeking, right?
I seen this thing yesterday that said that if you were to attend one Palestinian funeral a day, it would take you 7 years to go to all of them.
That's what I'm saying. So like again, humanity, the humanitarian in most people are saying we don't want more war. And here comes Nancy Pelosi.
Without the kente cloth.
She took that. She stepped on that. She said that shit was under her feet. And here was Nancy Pelosi's response to, remember, it was a couple of weeks ago in Washington, D.C., it was 400,000 people there.
Yeah.
Calling for an end to like this war, and here was Nancy's response.
They're in front of my house all the time. So
why are they there, Nancy?
Have a feeling for what feelings they have, but we have to think about what we're doing. And what we have to do is try to stop the suffering and gossip.
That's what people are doing, Nancy. That's why they're protesting.
People who don't have a place to go.
The signs say
address that.
War,
but for them to call for a ceasefire is Mr. Putin's message.
Is it?
Mr. Putin's message. Make no mistake, this is directly connected
waging
to
a war
what he
right
would
now
like to
against
see.
Ukraine?
Yeah.
Same thing
Where
with
there's
Ukraine.
also a ceasefire.
It's about Putin's message. I think some of these protesters are spontaneous and organic and sincere. Some, I think, are connected to Russia, and I say that having looked at this for a long time now. As you know,
think some of these protests are Russian plants?
These are plants. I think some financing should be investigated.
She said, I'm putting them people on all you niggas.
Yes.
Free me.
You. Cases for all y'all.
All y'all. Everybody getting locked up in black prisons. You going to get Mo. You going to get Mo. You going to get Mo.
Program, nigga.
It's the black identity extremists all over again. And here's the thing.
Yeah, there you go.
And I tweeted this out because like every time there is an uprising, the response is always like police and violence. When October 7th happened, I knew people who lost people on October 7th. I knew people who lost people before October 7th and after October 7th. and we are all in communities together, and everybody keeps saying that this has got to end.
Yes.
But the United States is the person, the entity, the being that keeps sending the money and the resources for the bombs.
Yes.
That keeps telling people not to do these negotiations, that has shown up with anti-Palestinian, anti-Muslim, and anti-Arab sentiment in these negotiations. You even had former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton say, it is the Palestinians' fault that they're in this situation they're in because they didn't negotiate right. And then when Netanyahu himself came out and said, for the past 30 years, I have done everything I could to prevent a Palestinian state, it was crickets.
Right.
What we have been saying is this does not have to be our reality.
Yes.
None of these states, Iran, Russia, none of these states are good states.
Yes.
All of these states have done horrible human rights violations.
Yes.
China, Yemen, everybody. The United States has done horrible human rights violations.
Absolutely.
And in 2024, we could just stop doing it.
Yes.
We could literally be like, you know what? We tried.
Yes.
Didn't work. It's not working. Everybody keeps dying.
Yes.
We're going to try something different. We're going to try transformative justice. We're going to try actually bringing everybody together, negotiating, figure out what everyone's bottom line is, and moving forward. If people are just saying, we want a state where we don't have to worry about being displaced, and Palestinians are saying, we just want to come back home and live in peace, it is a very simple solution, right? We can have these conversations, but when we keep telling people, you don't have an equal voice, you should get the bare minimum, that is the problem. And then to weaponize the FBI and say that because we are literally using terminology that the ICJ uses, that the ICJ said happened when Russia invaded Ukraine, the ICJ said we need a ceasefire now. We need a cessation of all hostilities. If we have said this in every prior conflict, why is it now that we're doing it in a conflict that the U.S. supports, that we have to be weapons or being paid by Russia? I personally still need my Soros check because I have never gotten that from my BLM days.
Neither.
Right? So it's why do I always have to be an agency or an operative of some foreign government? Why can't I just see that I want people to live and survive in freedom and liberation? And that is what is mind-boggling to me, because I see grown Palestinian men sobbing, talking about the loss of their loved ones.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting with communities who are sobbing, and there is no resources out there from our government. Our government hasn't even told people not to say the word Palestine or Palestinian. A Palestinian from America, from New Orleans, was just killed in the West Bank, and his own congressional representative didn't say anything about it.
Right.
This is what we're dealing with, and it's because of this that we're like, you know what? This system isn't working. We got to have our empathy and our sympathy and our humanity back. Let's do something different. That's all we're saying. But now I got to worry about the FBI throwing me in some type of jail because I just don't want people to die. But, free me till it's backwards, put some money, get $100 a month, We
know one 82-year-old black man that we'll talk about later that would definitely have a free miracle shirt on.
Rise up my blessings. But it's just...
Yeah, but it's also, Miracle, it's that historical context, right? Where we've experienced, particularly there's this history of black protesters being harassed, being targeted by the FBI, including Dr. King, right? The FBI famously sent Dr. King a letter basically saying, kill yourself, and a lot of that had to do when Dr. King became somebody that was anti-war and anti-military industrial complex, right? So there's history of COINTELPRO and the FBI being weaponized against black people, trying to organize, right? Trying to rise up, trying to do the things that we need to do to either, bring our communities together or to hold America accountable for its foreign policies that are negatively affecting a lot of black and brown countries around the world, because it's still issues in Congo. It's still issues in the Sudan, right? It's still all of these issues that we're dealing with, and we're not seeing any movement around those as well. And so I think that it's interesting because at the same time Nancy Pelosi's make these statements, we also see 1,000 black pastors from across the country coming from some of the biggest, what you would call mega churches in the United States of America coming together saying, we demand a ceasefire as well. You know what I'm saying? And talking about, specifically putting pressure on the White House to have a ceasefire. And so, like, is this some like Russian fed thing, or is this like genuinely people wanting to see an end to this bloodshed?
And I will also lift up what we just saw yesterday was the 3 black service members who were murdered.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It is because of the racist policies of our military. It is going to be black people who are on those front lines. Black people, brown people, and poor working class people are usually the foot soldiers, right?
Absolutely.
Racism with the ASVAB and how they do their assignments. Right. And so we know that if something pops off in the world, we are going to die, whether it is off the coast of Africa, whether it's in South of Latin America, no matter where it is, it means that we are going to die. And as black people who've also experienced violence and community violence, we know what happens when revenge and vengeance is the reason people are moving a certain way.
Yes.
We know what spinning the block means. We know that innocent people get caught up in violence all the time. And then what happens when you hit the wrong person and you have to worry about retaliation? We keep saying stop because we've already lived it. Just because we haven't lived it on a global scale doesn't mean our experience is any less valuable. And when we keep saying you have to stop this violence, it's only going to get worse. We know from our own personal experiences. And now, we're worried about what's happening in Yemen. We're worried about Iran. We're worried about Syria, Lebanon. Yeah. Then we have stuff happening in South of Latin America. Yeah. Then we have multiple places all throughout the continent of Africa that are now hotspots.
Right.
And it's just like, we didn't have to live this way.
No, and I think for us, it's now, here are, been, hundreds of thousands of people all across the United States of America saying we want less war. And now that this drone has killed these 3 American soldiers, now it's the prospect of even more war. And now it's like Joe Biden, who already people were saying, have all these critiques about just domestic policies, right? Yeah. Now becoming the face of like more war, and now are we going to attack Iran now? What does that mean? Is that and what we know off top, what is it going to mean? It's going to mean
Biden over Baghdad.
Right. But
That's what it means.
But it's going to mean more black and brown soldiers who are on the front line being at risk for more death. Just, what are you all thoughts on, trouble on Pelosi and the possibility, the increasing everyday possibility of World War III?
It's a scary world we're living in right now.
Scary world.
Facts. And it could have all been so simple. It's like, for people who represent the American population, if a lot of us are saying we don't want war, we want peace, we want a ceasefire.
Yes.
It's like, it's just showing us that a lot of our politicians are in it for their own personal interests.
Absolutely.
And not actually representing our best interests and what we want as human beings. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it makes me lose faith in politics more and more every day. I'm not even going to hold you.
Absolutely. I mean, and right, because it's like, are you listening to what the people are saying? Again, like Nancy Pelosi talked about, there are people literally on her front lawn, right? Protesting every day. And it's like, oh, they're getting paid by Russia. Like
Facts.
and how dismissive that is to like the real pain and the real sacrifice that people are making to kind of put their bodies on the line. Farouk?
I think when Nancy Pelosi says the things that she just said, there's a level of insidiousness to it, because what that does is that incites or welcomes violence domestically to anti-war protesters, much like America had seen in the Vietnam days.
Yes.
So you're going to see a lot of these people who are openly against these different wars and these different conflicts now becoming targets, not only from law enforcement or politicians, but for people who get riled up behind the politicians they support.
But what's kind of weird is like the Republicans like Russia.
Right.
So like, what does that mean? You know
well, I mean, and we already seen this Republican Party splinter in these different sects.
True.
Right. There's a Trump allegiance. There was, a traditional, I guess, GOP.
Yes.
And then Oh, okay.
What?
No, I'm just, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So again, if you're familiar with the show, you're familiar with the segment that we have. Wait. Pause that. Wait, because I want to get to this letter first. There's a segment we have called White Pages.
Yes.
And our White Pages is like books that we ask people to read, encourage people to read to kind of take them deeper into their understanding of white supremacy. And we've been getting a lot of mail. So we've read, emails that we received the last 2 weeks. So it looks like we're going to have a new segment that we're going to call Blackmail.
That's amazing.
So this is our Blackmail.
That's amazing.
So we actually got a physical letter.
Was it delivered by the Pony Express?
And this is, it's funny, just Syriac. I'm the co-founder of White Supremacy.
What do they know that we don't?
I'm the co-founder of White Supremacy on Free Speech TV. So this is an 82-year-old African-American man.
We going up in somebody's retirement home.
Hey, free
Shout out to y'all.
Facts.
Shout out to y'all.
We got to work on it, Democrat. So he's he from St. Louis, Missouri, talked about, his real lived experience as an 82-year-old black man.
Oh, he had time.
Oh, this is two-sided. You know what I'm saying? But what's interesting is I want to get to the meat of it. Let me get to the gums.
That's crazy.
You're proving this man's point right now.
You're proving his point. So he says, and what's his name? He doesn't. I don't see a name. Oh, Roy. This is Roy.
Okay, of course it is.
Roy said, "The brother with sunglasses on your show.
What the fuck did I do?
Is intelligent.
Yes, I am. I speak three
But
languages.
he's disruptive.
Yeah.
And constantly interrupts and laughs at stuff that is not funny.
I mean, humor is a spectrum, my brother.
Sometimes your show reminds me of one of the radio shows I heard as a kid."
Did they have radio back then? I mean, I guess it was the only way that they could communicate.
Amos and Andy.
I don't know what Amos and Andy is.
They called you Amos. Who's Amos and who's Andy?
But what is it? I guess the joke didn't land for me.
Amos and Andy is like a minstrel show. A minstrel show about black people.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
He said you're Conan, brother. He said,
Jesus Christ. I've never been accused of that before.
Amos and Andy.
That's offensive.
He goes on.
I bet he does.
If it weren't for Miracle, underlined, brother. Miracle is the underlined.
Yeah.
Who brings signs of intelligence and knowledge, I'd stop watching your show.
Well, damn. Well, can I address?
Wait. He's got more.
He got more. Wow.
I mean, he says I've never been arrested.
Oh, well.
But I've been stopped by the police many times. I knew I had to shut up and obey.
Oh.
For if not, I'd be another George Floyd. This is our brother Roy. You have a comment?
I mean,
this is Miracle. The only reason we'll go to. Oh, you want?
I haven't read it.
Miracle wants to get his address.
I mean, seeing that your time on this planet is about to expire.
No!
That's where we're going.
No!
Wow!
You accuse me of cooning.
We not disrespecting.
Come on, brother.
I'm not gonna have.
He said you were disrespectful. He's called you intelligent.
He just said.
I mean, that's a backhanded compliment.
Like when we get in trouble at school and your teacher sends a little note home.
Yes,
that's all it was.
I mean,
Yes.
I said what I said. I'm gonna let him.
You
rock.
laugh at stuff that's not funny.
Humor is a spectrum.
Yes.
Humor is a spectrum.
Yes.
I mean, maybe, he probably laughed at some shit. That's how, humor is the best medicine. Maybe if you laugh a little bit more, you'll be here longer.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Is this like you're like Nicki Minaj response to this man? My God.
I mean, clearly he got.
You should die.
He got some beef. Like, that's probably why his family left him in a home, innit?
Oh. Farouk, come on, man. We don't know. Look. He said, look, what did Farouk say? He said, that's why you don't have no family and you're living in squalor. Come on, really, Farouk? You're just going to channel Laurie to this man?
Okay.
Wow.
All right, that's the Southern black woman. Days.
That's hilarious.
Amos and Andy wore blackface.
That's
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes. White men that wore blackface, yes.
As a Southern black woman who was raised to respect her elders.
Yes.
Because I have a family.
Yes.
We're not gonna talk about Mr. Roy like that.
Yes.
We like to joke, Mr. Roy. We believe in the radical revolutionary love and prowess of black joy, black laughter, and black community. And so we do a lot of jokes. We laugh a lot. We try to inform, educate, and entertain because we don't want people to be broken down, depressed, and not feel like they have something to fight for in the future. And so while the noise may not be appreciated, we do love that you are a participant of the show and that you watch and that you feel passionate enough to write us a letter. You know, give us a little bit of grace. We're going through a lot. We're trying to figure out how to navigate white supremacy. So we're still here next week. And I'm happy that you lived to see a life of 82 years old.
Yes.
And I'm happy that you have experienced to share. But just understand the way we navigate may not be the way you navigate. The way we engage may not be the way you engage. And that's okay. You know, there is room and liberation for all of us.
Absolutely.
You know, blackness is universal. Our experiences are not. And that's just how it is. And so thank you for watching. And again, if this is not the show for you, I hope that you have options to watch other shows that
like Matlock or MASH or In the Heat of the Night
that you like and that resonate with you.
And if you want to email Miracle,
no. Wait. I don't want to be contacted.
I'm not going to put your email
because
out
you're going to start, and the other people are going to be out here.
I was going to say, Miracle, that you could teach him how to use Cash App. And then he can support you directly.
Y'all can just go to the One Hood page, make a donation to the One Hood page, and put For Miracle.
Put For Miracle in there. Absolutely.
and I'll
absolutely.
Get it.
And again, if you want to, let's save that's voicemail for next week. Right?
I got you. Yeah.
Or our blackmail next week. If you want to, holler at info at One Hood.
I'm calling the feds if you keep threatening us online.
Oh, I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Nancy's already sicked them on me, so I'm gonna internalize the white supremacy and sick them back.
But if you're watching the show and you want to participate in our blackmail segments,
please.
Gonna be really
info
keep it coming.
at One Hood, and that's the number one hood.org.
But be respectful.
Oh, yeah. And if you could maybe be under 70, just a couple of years, maybe 68.
We're looking about to die tomorrow. I'm like, oh my god,
this dude is terrible. So our white pages of the week. You know what I'm saying? We met this brother. Pages. We met this brother, Edwin Raymond, at the UJC Summit in New York City.
Yeah.
His book is called An Inconvenient Cop, My Fight to Change Policing in America. Shout out to him. You know, we're hoping to contact him and have him on a couple of our shows and engage with him directly. And so here's a police officer, and it's rare you see a police officer with locks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An Inconvenient Cop, his plight to change policing in America from inside the NYPD. Shout out to Edwin Raymond, and please get this brother's book and support this brother's book. With that being said, I don't think do we have anything coming up?
Things are always happening, but I want to shout out the people of New York, particularly the black men of New York who are about to override the mayor's veto.
Yes.
So we can get some good data on the stop and frisk and harassment of black men.
Absolutely.
In New York City, because, you know.
Yes. And shout out to our brother, Councilman Yusef Salam. He's helping to lead that charge. We appreciate, you know, his stances and how he's been moving since he's been a city councilman. So definitely big shout out to him. Anything from you, Trouble?
Just never lose sight, man.
Never lose sight. Farouk?
Stay out of squalor.
Stay out of squalor and find you somebody to have a family.
No.
I mean,
as best you can.
Too soon.
With that being said.
Entirely too soon.
With that being said.
Let's wrap this shit up. Let's land this plane right now.
Unlike you.
Wow. With that being said,
listen. You gotta push the button.
Planned families. No, I'm sorry. See y'all next week. This week in White Supremacy.
Until he gets back.
Peace.
Because he has to push the button. Always a light skinned want to throw a temper. You gotta push the button.